Don't let YouTube decide what information you get. That's your choice. YouTube is deleting our videos and cuts you off from a source of honest reporting. Make sure you don't lose access to NTD's news content, and take a quick moment to subscribe to our newsletter so no matter what happens here, you'll keep your access to a trustworthy news source.
And staying on the West Coast, a school district says they're investigating a situation after students received a controversial quiz question. The question asked students to identify various groups of people in an insulting manner. We hear more from NTD's David Lamb.
In Northern California, a social science teacher recently gave a quiz to students on Thursday. But students, families, and the community have raised concerns over one of the quiz questions.
Whitney High School is located in the city of Rocklin, about 20 miles from Sacramento. A photo of a controversial multiple-choice question was shared on Facebook. It asked respondents to identify a group of complete idiots. There were 4 available answers: KKK, all of Florida, Fox News, or Texans. The woman who posted the screenshot said the picture came from her friend's son that was in the class. Some responded saying the question was inappropriate and wanted to call the school. The woman told Fox 40 Sacramento that it sounded unbelievable.
We all have different beliefs. This is, the United States. We all come from different backgrounds, and everybody should be okay with who they are.
The principal of Whitney High School sent a statement to the school community on Friday, saying that the school is committed to investigate any campus incident that may make a group of students feel uncomfortable so the Wildcat family can grow from them.
Now, the principal stated that the personal details are confidential, but that they share their concerns and will take disciplinary steps. The school and school district wasn't able to provide further details by press deadline. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
Insurance company State Farm is reacting to their brand ambassador Aaron Rodgers' comments on vaccines. The football star explained over the weekend why he's unvaccinated after he tested positive for the CCB virus. Here are the details.
It is time for the final question.
State Farm commercials featuring Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers are close to disappearing, according to Apex Marketing Group, a sponsorship and analytics company. Rodgers appeared in only around 1.5% of nearly 400 State Farm commercials that aired on Sunday. That's down from more than 20% the 2 Sundays before. This comes after Rodgers' comments on his vaccine situation last week. On Friday's Pat McAfee show, he explains why he decided not to get the COVID-19 vaccine, but he also says he's not anti-vax.
It was simply the fact that I have an allergy to an ingredient that's in the mRNA vaccines. So on the CDC's own website, it says, should you have an allergy to any of the ingredients, you should not get one of the mRNA vaccines. So
Rodgers says the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, which are mRNA vaccines, are out for him. And he chose not to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because he knows several people that had adverse reactions after getting the J&J shot.
I believe strongly in bodily autonomy and the ability to make choices for your body, not to have to acquiesce to some woke culture or crazed, group of individuals who say you have to do something. Health is not a one-size-fits-all.
The football star also said he got alternative treatments for the virus, including monoclonal antibodies and ivermectin. State Farm said in a statement Monday, Aaron Rodgers has been a great ambassador for our company for much of the past decade. We don't support some of the statements that he has made, but we respect his right to have his own personal point of view. We encourage vaccinations, but respect everyone's right to make a choice based on their personal circumstances. While State Farm hasn't ended its partnership with Rodgers, another company did. Healthcare organization Previa Health said Saturday that they and Rodgers have decided to end their 9-year partnership.
A peaceful rally turned violent over the weekend at a public park in downtown Boston. The event was held to protest vaccination mandates, but at one point, Antifa groups arrived and started clashing with demonstrators. Here's more.
Security!
Violence flared up at the Boston Common on Sunday after Antifa groups clashed with participants from the Rise Against Tyranny protest.
Why are we fixing something that's not broken?
The Super Happy Fun America organization organized the event to oppose mask and vaccine mandates. Before conflict broke out at noon, around 100 attendees were seen singing the national anthem, chanting slogans, and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As the rally went on, protesters from opposing groups gathered on the other side of nearby police fences, holding communist flags and signs that read, "Death to Fascism." Some even tried to dismantle the fences and storm the rally. Several physical altercations ensued. Riot police reacted quickly to separate the two groups. But the counter-protesters, linked to the Antifa group, then marched to the other side of the park. There, they managed to breach the fence. Police armed with batons and riot gear assembled to clear the area. The brief conflict alarmed many of the rally goers. One of them brought a placard reading, "See people, not sides." He said it's important to look at the rationale behind the different positions instead of being blinded by hate.
It's kind of turning into a bad YouTube comments section where people just start calling names and dehumanizing each other. And I don't think that's the way out of this. I think we need to be diplomatic. We need to be respectful of each other, listen to each other's concerns, and remember at the end of the day, no matter what side people are on, they're all human beings.
Both sides left before 2 p.m. According to the Boston Police Department, 2 people were arrested. They could face minor charges like disorderly conduct.
Panic buying is getting rough in some parts of China. Some say a sight similar to Black Fridays in the U.S. And at the same time, other parts of China are experiencing powerful snowstorms. NTD's Tiffany Meyer has the details.
Panic buying in China continues following China's Commerce Ministry's notice last week that recommended citizens stock up on food for the winter. In many parts of China, residents are buying in a frenzy. Goods like pork, rice, and vegetables in grocery stores are having a hard time keeping up with the demand. A number of store shelves are empty or near empty. Panic buying has reached cutthroat levels in some areas, similar to the sight occasionally seen on Black Fridays in the U.S. In China's Hebei province, a horde of locals sprinted into a grocery store the second it opened for business. The scene was chaotic. People were pushing, shoving, and yelling. Some tripped and fell. Following the Commerce Ministry's notice, many citizens are speculating whether there's an impending food shortage. An early season snowstorm blanketed parts of northern China over the weekend. Authorities forecast up to 11 inches of snow in some areas. Roads were closed and flights were canceled. And China's national weather forecaster issued its second highest weather warning. In Beijing, the snow this year came almost a month earlier than expected. And temperatures hovered around 30 degrees Fahrenheit. The snow has caused more than 170 bus lines and 9 trains to be suspended, and 10 flights were canceled. The blizzard has also swept to neighboring provinces like Hebei and Tianjin. At least 6 other provinces are affected as well. Together, some 140 highways have been shuttered. The blizzard is getting attention nationwide. On Chinese social media platform Weibo, the hashtag Beijing's first snow has racked up nearly 1.2 billion views. The snow and drop in temperature comes on the heels of a coal supply crunch and electricity rationing in northeast China.
A federal appeals court on Saturday blocked the Biden administration's vaccine mandate for private employers, asserting there may be constitutional issues with the requirement. Several legal experts provide their analysis.
A ruling was issued by the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Saturday to temporarily block the Biden administration's vaccine mandate, which applies to 84 million workers at 1.9 million private sector companies. The White House, however, continued to defend its position on Monday.
We feel confident about the legal component of this. The Department of Labor has the authority to move forward in making sure that they keep the workplace safe.
The lawsuit was brought by multiple businesses and individuals, and several states, including Texas, Utah, and Mississippi. The The suit seeks to strike down the mandate, which requires workers at companies with over 100 employees to be fully vaccinated or be tested weekly starting January 4th. Petitioners said the mandate, issued by the Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, exceeds OSHA's authority under the Occupational Safety and Health Act. The court ruling also says there are grave statutory and constitutional issues with the mandate.
First, COVID-19 is bad. Second, vaccines are good. I don't disagree with that. The problem is, where do you, as OSHA, get the authority in your statute to put this requirement on people?
Civil rights attorney Brooke Goldstein told NTD's Capitol Report that the real question is whether the mandate is constitutional.
What this is the executive branch, in my opinion, exercising extreme broad overreach, using the OSHA mandate to justify that, which is an administrative body within the executive.
She also cited concerns that the mandate violates people's basic rights.
The government should not have the right to force you to take a vaccine under the threat of losing your job.
So far, 27 states have filed lawsuits to halt the mandate for private companies, calling it an illegal, unconstitutional action.
It creates a situation where the states have to choose to either comply with what I think is a constitutionally questionable mandate, or potentially violate contracts, labor contracts, and come into conflict with labor unions.
Though facing strong pushback, the White House has said that they would defend the mandate in court.
The Biden administration is launching a nationwide effort to get kids vaccinated against COVID-19. They're encouraging schools to host vaccination clinics. And First Lady Jill Biden visited one historic school in Virginia to kick off these efforts. NTD's Melina Weiskup reports.
Just 1 week after the CDC recommended the vaccine for 5 to 11-year-old children, the Biden administration kicking off its campaign to get kids vaccinated. First Lady Jill Biden and Surgeon General Vivek Murthy made a stop by a public elementary school in Virginia to promote the school's vaccination clinic.
So let's give a round of applause to all the brave kids here who got their shots.
This school has a history of promoting vaccines. In 1954, it became the first school to offer vaccine clinical trials to children. At that time, it was the shot against polio.
So how do I open it?
The Biden administration's Health and Human Services Secretary and Education Secretary joining the effort to push the COVID-19 vaccines in schools. This morning, they sent a letter to school superintendents and elementary school principals around the nation, urging them to host vaccination clinics to get kids vaccinated at schools. And this is just day one of the Biden administration's efforts to get kids vaccinated. The First Lady plans to visit many pediatricians in the coming weeks to promote these efforts. As it stands right now, around 200 million Americans, that is just over half of the population, has been fully vaccinated. And the push to give kids the shot doesn't stop with leaders giving speeches. The message is making its way to kids at their own level. A 1970s clip of Sesame Street resurfaced over the weekend, promoting the idea of getting the vaccine to kids. This clip shows the character Big Bird at a vaccine site, ready to get the shot.
Hey, I know what I'm going to do right away.
What are you going to do?
I want to get in line.
Republican Senator Ted Cruz criticizes the resurfaced clip, writing on Twitter, "Government propaganda for your 5-year-old." Cruz introduced a bill to block the government or public schools from mandating kids to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Vaccine mandates have been common in schools for years, but some people are strongly opposing the mandates now. Some say they're lacking trust in the science. Others have lost trust in government transparency. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
The U.S. is lifting the travel ban for a long list of countries that's been in place for almost 20 months. Hotel and travel businesses are particularly excited. NTD's Phil Zoe has more.
The U.S. is allowing visitors from over 30 countries, including Canada, Mexico, most of Europe, and more. How is that going to impact businesses, including this hotel right here in Manhattan? Let's go find out more. I spoke to John Fitzpatrick, the owner of the Fitzpatrick Grand Central Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. Business was down 95% at one point during the pandemic. He is excited about the news.
It's like Christmas Day, St. Patrick's Day, every day coming together. International travel is the most important. I mean, it's, $47 billion worth of tourism. That's what tourism represents here in New York.
He says international travelers usually stay longer and spend more money.
They come because they want to spend 6 or 7 days in the city. So they're going to go to Broadway, they're going to shop. They do everything together. It's all in one.
Alex Malbranch over at Plane Ahead says the influx of travelers will create chaos at the airlines.
There's going to be an adjustment for the airlines in order to really get the right amount of staffing and the right amount of flights to be able to take on that sort of capacity.
But overall, the industry is staying positive about lifting the travel ban.
We're still really bullish on the short-term and long-term full recovery of the travel industry and hospitality sector.
Fitzpatrick agrees.
But look, we're open and we're moving along, and I think we'll get back by the mid next year, the end of next year.
Travelers under the age of 18 are exempt from the vaccination requirements. 50 countries, including Haiti, Afghanistan, Iraq, and much of Africa, are also exempt from the vax mandate. One reason is there's not a lot of vaccines available at these countries. Phil Zoe, NTD News, New York.
Federal agents seized $4 million worth of heroin in a New York City apartment and arrested 2 suspects. One of them has been wanted for almost a decade. Almost 30 pounds of heroin were found in the apartment in the Bronx. Authorities observed the complex for months and noticed the 2 suspects entering frequently. On November 4th, they tried to arrest the men when they left the building with a big bag, but the suspects managed to flee. That's when authorities searched the apartment, finding drugs and illegal guns. They finally arrested the men some hours later. A court read the suspects' charges over the weekend. Philadelphia held the city's 7th annual Veterans Parade on Sunday. Last year's event had to be held virtually, but this year people gathered outdoors to honor the men and women who've served in our nation's military. NTD's Chenny Wu has more.
Colorful floats, marching bands, and a brigade of over 250 motorcycles headed east on Philadelphia's Market Street. The national anthem was sung, followed by a military flyover with 2 paratroopers conducting a dramatic and coordinated jump. This was the city's annual Veterans Day parade on Sunday. Last year's event was virtual due to the pandemic, but this year, downtown streets are alive with crowds of veterans, their family members, and thousands of supporters.
So I'm very happy that at least it's in person, and it seems like there's a lot of energy, and I love how everybody has a flag here and they're waving it and cheering for all our troops.
Christina Whitney's husband was in the Army for 30 years. She attended to show her support and appreciation for all veterans, and she also brought her children.
I want them to honor their father and honor all the men and women that fought for our country, and I think it's important for them to be here.
This event is one of many around the country during Veterans Month, November, providing a chance for Americans to acknowledge those heroes who served our nation. Chenny Wu, NTD News.
Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to catch all of our programs on TV. NTD Evening News is on every weekday at 6:30 p.m. Find your local NTD channel at ntd.com/TV.